One of the fastest growing problems facing healthcare today probably isn't what you're thinking. I'm talking about antibiotic resistance, which happens when germs develop the ability to essentially not die to the drug being used against them. According to the CDC, this is an urgent healthcare threat and something that's becoming more prevalent each and every day. As of 2019, antibiotic resistance directly killed 1.27 million people and was associated with roughly 5 million deaths worldwide. In the United States alone, there were 2.8 million antibiotic-resistant infections and roughly 35,000 deaths associated with these infections. So how does antimicrobial resistance happen in the first place? Well, it actually comes from using antibiotics. According to a study in 2021 from the NIH, there were 1,417 patients in the study. Of these 1,400 patients, nearly 78% of them received at least one antibiotic during their stay in the hospital. The other problem with these antibiotics that they're giving is if you're not responding to that first line treatment, you have to use the second or third line treatment to try and kill the infection. And according to nature.com, the other problem is developing a new antibiotic drug costs roughly $1 billion US. It can also take 10 to 15 years to get a new drug on the market, which is a lot of time to spend a lot of money before you see any profit or return for these big companies. The majority of antibiotic-resistant germs, according to the World Health Organization, are gram-negative bacteria. Bacteria can be described as gram-positive or gram-negative, and the nature and structure of these gram-negative bacteria often make them more resistant to antibiotics. According to a 2018 study, there are 4 mechanisms for antimicrobial resistance. The first is limiting uptake of the drug. The second one is modifying the actual drug's target. The third is inactivating the drug. And the fourth is an active drug efflux, or decreasing the effectiveness of intracellular drug concentrations. So what can be done to combat all of this antimicrobial resistance against all these different types of germs? The first is take the antibiotic as prescribed. If you're given a 10-day dose for this certain antibiotic, take all 10 days. If you're feeling better after day 7, take those last 3 days in order to kill off the extra bacteria that were semi-resistant to the drug. The second thing that you can do is not skip doses. Antimicrobials are most effective when they're taken as prescribed, taking 1 pill every day for all 10 days if that's what your doctor told you to do. The third thing you can do is to not save any antibiotics. If you are feeling better after day 7, even though you're given a 10-day dose, don't save those 3 pills for the next time you might need an antibiotic. The fourth thing you can do is don't take any antibiotics prescribed to someone else. If it's not for you specifically, don't take it. The fifth thing you can do is talk with your healthcare provider. See if this is the right antibiotic for you, if you really need it, and understand how to take it effectively. The sixth and last thing that you can do is talk with your healthcare provider if you have any new or interesting side effects while taking this. It might mean you need to switch over to a new antibiotic and complete your treatment with something else. Now, what needs to be done that's outside of your control? Well, big companies need to spend the money to develop these drugs so that they can better the health of other people. Yeah, it might take 10 to 15 years. Yep, it might cost $1 billion, but eventually that money is going to be made back. It just needs to be spent upfront, knowing that return is going to happen. Proper labeling regulations need to be made when addressing the use of these antimicrobials, not using an antibiotic for a viral infection. The last thing that needs to be done is better public awareness about antimicrobial resistance being an actual thing. Taking all of your medication as prescribed, taking the full dose at the right time of day, finishing all your dose, not saving any for later, all the things that I said earlier, as well as just letting healthcare providers know that you might have a problem taking an antibiotic, or you had a reaction to it last time and you might want the second line treatment if there's one available. Having that communication between both yourself and the healthcare provider, as well as giant corporations and organizations and the public, so everybody's on the same page when it comes to antimicrobial resistance. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, whether you're a healthcare provider or whether you're a person that has taken antibiotics before and had a reaction. I myself think it's a really interesting topic. I've had a reaction to an antibiotic before, got swapped over to the second line treatment, finished my dose on that treatment and felt really good. I've felt good ever since and my infection went away. If you've had a different experience, just let me know your thoughts kind of down below. If you think it's a serious problem, what can be done, what you are doing to try and combat this down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.